Music in the back.
Blastmusic247.com. We're changing the industry one artist at a time.
In the center.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the center. It's another Friday night as we do. And man, I am excited tonight. I got one of my favorite peoples in the building, my man Fred Lynch. Welcome to the center, my brother. How you doing?
Hey, I'm good. How's everybody out there? I hope everybody doing good out there in these streams.
Oh, we are good. Real quick, I'm gonna do our part, and then we're gonna jump right in. So let me be real quick about it, and then we'll play the producer's track for the night. I just want to play something while I'm talking. Let's see. That's good enough. All right. So, if you're an independent artist, spoken word poet, or up-and-coming comedian looking for some exposure, you can go to blastmusic247.com and register for free. But Blast is also looking for the fans. So if you're a fan of great music, you too can also register at blastmusic247.com as a unlimited fan, and you'll have access to hundreds of independent music. There's the QR code. Break out your Samsung, break out your iPhone, scan it, and it brings you to blastmusic247.com. We're changing the industry one artist at a time. And if you don't know, now you know. We are also backed by Blast Radio 247. We're the champion of independent music. You will find artists from all around the globe with all types of tastes or all flavors to appeal to your taste. If you have the Live 365 app, look us up on Blast Radio 247, or you can open up your favorite browser and go to blastradio247.com, and it'll bring you right to the player. So go ahead and check us out. All right. So
hey, man, you got to give me some warning, because you normally hit me with the Thanos, right around the bottom of the show.
I know.
You throwing planets at me already, man.
Hey, we like to get all this done because when we have, how we do with our shows, man. Mm-hmm. Our shows are spontaneous as we go along. So we want to get all that out the way so we can just jump right in. Well, first and foremost, I want to ask Kev, D-Ray, Mike, how are you guys doing? And that's how y'all doing.
Man, so far so good. Been busy with life and fostering and all that stuff, so it's been nuts. But yeah, we've been good.
Good. What about you, Ray?
Who, me?
Yes, sir. What about you?
Brothers, life be lifing.
Yes, it is.
But thank God be God, and so we're still here. I'm still here, brother.
No doubt.
Use that one.
I like that. What about you, Mike Precise? What's going on with you?
Same thing. Moving on up, George Jefferson. We're in prayer for our homie, our big homie, Big Mel.
Yes, indeed.
Chairman Mel. We want him to get up out of this hospital bed. We want him to get his heart right, kidneys right, everything right.
Yeah.
and get back in this. Mel is a pioneer in his own way.
He is.
In this Christian hip hop space. So big up
real,
my man Mel.
Real quick before we move on to piggyback on what Mike said, I want to send a very special shout out to Duchess, who is one of our Blast members.
Indeed.
She is fighting the diligent fight of breast cancer in Alabama. Queen, I want you to know that we got your back and you can beat this.
No doubt. And two words: cancer sucks.
Sucks.
Period. So we're in here for you. So salute to Big Mel as well as Duchess. We will be believing and praying for you guys for a much better life.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Awesome, man. I appreciate it when you have brothers that are around you, because that just makes that much better that this is going to be what it was supposed to be. Now, before we get this going, we have two producers in the house. D-Ray's one of them, and my girl Sharita, she's in the comments. She is at work. So D-Ray has contributed his track, and I already know Mike and Kevin's ready to break out the pen and pad. I know how that's worked, but anywho, check this out. It's called Triggers. What?
Mood.
Very nice. I already tell Kevin's face. Kevin likes it.
Thank you. I appreciate that, man. No doubt.
Yes.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Appreciate y'all. Thank you.
right.
Thank you.
First and foremost, again, I'm so excited that you're here to still with us, Fred. So before we get too deep, why don't you tell people a little bit about you, and we'll go from there. So tell everyone, who is Fred Lynch?
Sure. So Fred Lynch is I started doing hip hop and doing music and ministry in hip hop, man, when I was a teenager, 17, 18 years old. So my first album came out in 1988. First album came out. Here we are, PID, Preachers in Disguise. That's what it stands for, Preachers in Disguise, PID, or Preachers for short, with an AS, not ERCHES, ERS. It's an AS, Preachers. Started out in Dallas, Texas, man. I was a student at Christ for the Nations Institute. I was a student in Bible school, ready to go out there and change
Went
the
to Christ
world.
for the Nations, okay.
Yeah, I went to CFNI, man.
Shout out to Oak Cliff.
Shout out to Oak Cliff at 16 years old, man. And I was ready to just go make a difference. I was going to do it the way Paul did it, the way Peter did it. Come on, the way Mary Magdalene did it. I was just going to go all out. And I got in there and got involved. I ran into cats that was loving God the way I was loving God, seeing the world the way I saw it, and just got on fire for God. And I started using hip hop on the streets. My first time doing hip hop on the streets, I went to a Mardi Gras in New Orleans.
Wow.
And at that time, didn't even actually have my own raps. I heard, so I was using somebody else's Christian raps. That's like this, completely violating the laws of hip hop.
Our rhymes are recited.
Yeah. and I remember
How you bring, man? You just getting them in.
Yeah.
I came back, and one of the members of our group, Barry G, he was the youth in our youth group. So he liked the rhymes I was writing. He was like, "You got anything else?" And I was like, "That ain't even mine. That's somebody else's." He's like, "Come on, man. You haven't been." And I had been saved. I got saved. King James Bible saved. And so I really walked away from all kinds of music for about 3 to 4 years. I gave my life to Christ at about 14 years old. And so for about 3 years, I was completely away from secular music and all of that. And I started getting back into hip hop, just using it for the sake of the gospel. And he was like, my man Barry G challenged me. He was like, "You got to write your own rhyme." So I started writing my own rhymes, and I started falling in love with the craft. To me, it was always about two things. It was about the love of the gospel and the love of the craft. If I'm going to save the culture, I got to understand the gospel that can save the culture. I got to understand the craft, which is the language of the culture. And so
I love that.
That's what I got into and started doing.
I got a follow-up question.
Go ahead, D.
5 albums later.
But my question is not for Pastor Preacher Lynch. My question is for you fellas.
Okay.
When did y'all first hear about PID?
90.
I say 91, 92.
For me, probably about 92.
Yep.
Now,
92.
As Kevin and I were talking to Fred earlier, there was only one source in Orlando, Florida, to get your Christian hip hop, and that was Long's Christian Bookstore.
Christian Bookstore.
Yes, sir.
Oh, you know about Long?
No, they told me. They just told me about it. We have spots like that too. Same thing. You can get your anointing oil. You can get your tracks.
Your tracks.
Y'all remember? Wait. Let me see if y'all go way back. What was the name of them tracks that they had like cartoons?
It's like the Witness tracks or something. I know exactly what the little booklets.
Man.
Are you talking about the booklets?
The little booklets.
Chick tracks. Chick tracks. Man.
Wow.
I still remember the Halloween one. Y'all remember that Halloween one?
One that I remember was called "This Is Your Life."
Was scary.
I remember that one.
Scary, man.
I remember. I remember picking up one. I think I was in a bathroom somewhere, and at the end of it, it was somebody falling into hell, and I was like, hey.
That's how. Yep.
There were some fire and brimstone little pamphlets.
They were playing.
That's some old Baptist, man. Man, that's some old Baptist.
This is not a happy ending.
At all.
Get right.
Word.
Turn or burn. Yep.
Turn or burn. Wow.
So during that time, Christian hip hop, I think the most we paid for one CD was probably $20, and this is back in the early 90s.
Yep.
And I think a lot of the reason for those high prices is because everything was on I forgot the word.
Consignment.
Thank you. So they didn't know if it was going to be a hit or miss, but they could never keep it in stock.
Nope, never.
It got better.
I mean, every Thursday, Friday.
I was gonna say we came back every week looking for that new hit. Y'all got any more? Y'all got any more?
By the time, remember, by the time Cross Movement came out, the prices were lower.
Yeah, they dropped it down.
And then they would have sales. You know, we had to have that progression, just like in secular, there had to be that progression.
Then they had the competition, family Christian bookstore.
That's right.
And once they did that, then it changed up a little bit because they were more like a franchise.
Yeah.
And so because it was a franchise, they're like, oh wow. So
I used to work in 93. I used to work at Peaches Records and Tapes. If we're gonna go way back,
that's going back. That's like Tower Records,
right? Yep.
Peaches and Tower. That's it.
I was an actual buyer.
Why you?
Yeah, I was a buyer. That was one of my favorite jobs of all time.
Wow.
But
so you saw everything before it came out?
I saw everything. As a matter of fact, I put y'all in Peaches when technically y'all wasn't supposed to be there.
Hey!
So I put y'all in the Greensboro. But here's the caveat, and this is going to lead to one of my questions. They would not allow, because we would play music all day, right? And we would play the demos, or we would crack open something and we would just play it. They would not allow me to play anything that was Christian, gospel, whatever. Wow. And it wasn't just a black thing. I couldn't play anything that had anything to do with any religion whatsoever. Right. Even radio. I've had artists that, right before we do an interview, they're like, look, you can't mention God, you can't mention Jesus, you can't mention none of that because that's an FCC violation. My question to you is, were you aware of those hurdles? It's hard enough just becoming an artist. It's hard enough just to formulate what it is that you're trying to do in your mind.
Right.
Then you got the stuff that the rest of the industry has to fight.
Exactly.
Were you aware of that?
We were not, and I think that some of it, but we were. Let me say it this way: we weren't aware of that fine detail, like you just said right there.
That's crazy.
What we were aware of that came more from how we were raised, as far as being discipled, was that the world ain't gonna understand you. The world ain't gonna like you anyway, and so you just gonna. So I got a guy that I discipled later on. His name is Dooney, the priest from the streets. And he had a song called "Too Worldly for the Church, Too Churchy for the World."
Wow.
And that was like, we knew going in, for the church, we were going to be considered too quote unquote worldly.
Right.
But for the world, we were going to be too quote unquote churchy.
Yeah.
So we knew we were in that weird spot. So we just kind of went in, face in, knowing it. So we went with that in mind, not knowing that, just like what you're saying. Think about it. The industry was built on, like, the music industry itself. The whole industry was built by the mafia.
Wow.
So they're always looking for, capitalism with no gates, with no bars, just raw capitalism that can get, real ugly. But there's like, let's not mention God or anything that'll cause people to want to think deeper. Not knowing, here's an interesting layer to add on that, realizing especially so much of cutting edge music in America came from Black people.
Right.
Black music, from
like all of it,
to rock to hip hop, you just go on down the line. And so gospel and spiritual music was just like a staple part of our whole listening diet.
Yep.
And every now and then you had someone that was an amazing translator, like a Stevie Wonder, who could just cross it without even thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that all through time and evolution of this whole genre, you've got more people that's gotten to the point that, they're able to do it. And now it's like, so you got Glorilla. Talking about the irony.
Yeah.
To me, I look at it, I chalk it up as irony. That's the best that I can do. Because, truth be told, in God's sight, all of our righteousness is as filthy rags.
Right, you're right. That's the trajectory, though.
Yeah, I try to extend some grace with that, because I think about, because I'm a music.
You just had to come and throw that in.
I think Denzel Washington said, you get to a certain level and the enemy is gonna try you.
You made your face, man. Your face when I put the cup up.
Hey, that face was me like, don't cuss in front of this preacher. Don't cuss in front of this preacher. That was me. Hey, and these fellas know that was me, like, sinister, no. Sinister, no.
And Fred, his wife is a minister, bro.
My wife is a minister too, so it's like, but she's not here now, so it's gotta be me.
So the leash is
I gotta stop me.
No doubt.
This
I ain't gonna try you no more, dog.
Yeah, you will, because I feel it in you. Because
what's
we're
up,
brothers.
Sharita?
No doubt.
What's up, sis?
Hey,
I'm a student of music, and thinking back to what I read about the early days of gospel, they treated Tommy Dorsey like people are treating Glorilla right now.
There you go.
Because Tommy Dorsey in the early 1900s was incorporating blues. He was incorporating the early origins of jazz, right, and a little bit of folk, what became country.
That's
all
right.
of that stuff got incorporated into these hymns,
right, that
our grandparents, that big thick book of songs of Zion,
that's
in
right,
in the church,
right?
At you. But that was not without controversy.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
That's right.
And so I try to think of that way, but it's really difficult, because I kind of feel like the industry always finds a way to self-destruct itself.
It does. It does. It cannibalizes itself. And now what Tommy Dorsey was doing was only following the traditions of Protestants. Okay, so you think of what Charles Wesley and what's the other Wesley? Charles and his brother?
John Wesley.
And John was more of the music man,
right?
Than Charles. Charles just wrote. What Charles Wesley did was he took bar songs.
Yeah.
Okay, songs that were popular bar songs, which today we would call those club hits.
Yeah, and converted them. Yeah.
And converted the club hits and made them into hymns.
And chants. And chants.
And chants. So now Charles Wesley was following what your boy Luther did.
Martin Luther,
the same thing. He took the German, but it was just because they were German. A lot of folks over here didn't understand the implications and the cultural side. Those were German.
Thank you, Miss Nina.
Yeah.
Shout out to my friend from Brick City right here,
Brick
Nina.
City.
And look, y'all, and that's another reason I'm not cussing tonight, because I knew she was gonna be watching. I knew she was gonna be watching, so I'm gonna let that Dallas Cowboy thing slide. But
you let it slide.
That looked like a new cup. We're gonna talk after the show.
So let me ask you this, Brother Fred.
Yeah, man.
We also like to talk about that hip hop song that made us get our attention to hip hop. What was the hip hop song you remember that made you really be like, what is this? What am I listening to? This is hip hop? What is it?
Wow.
What drew you in?
What got you?
I will take you all the way back.
Let's do it.
Me being 11 years old on Saturdays. Remember Saturdays you couldn't go out and play unless you cleaned up first?
Yes, sir.
Facts.
So my mom was like, y'all ain't going nowhere till you clean out. So the only way we clean up is we got to turn the radio up so we can all dance as we clean up.
Right.
And I'm probably 10 or 11 years old, and I turned the radio on, and this was in San Francisco because I was raised as a kid in San Francisco.
Okay.
So this was KSOL. Okay, shout out to San Francisco Bay Area, KSOL. And they were playing a song that when it first came on, to me, it sounded like La Freak.
Oh, I know what you're talking about now.
Okay. Yeah, I
know. And the bass line, doom, 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 doom. And then the bass line skipped and did again. Now, they had a thing, because back then they played records. So they had a thing where they called it Static from the Attic. So as soon as I heard it, I laughed and said, Static from the Attic. That was when a record would be playing, and if it skipped, the DJ would just come on live on the air and just say, sorry, y'all, Static from the Attic, and then they move it and then keep on going.
What?
I thought the album was skipping, but it was going back into a loop.
It was looping.
And all of a sudden, this dude gets on and starts saying the classic, I said a hip, a hop, a hippie
wow.
to the hip hop. You don't stop rocking to the bang bang boogie say.
And it was like
boogie to the rhythm of the boogie beat. Now, by the time he did that, I stopped. I was like, this ain't Static from the Attic. And when he started talking about now, what you hear is not a test. I'm rapping to the beat. I stopped and I'm listening to what he's doing. And I don't want to sound sacrilegious on this, but I will be honest. What I did as a kid at 11 years old, that's when we had those big living room speakers too.
Yeah.
I know what he's about to say.
Get out of here.
I kneeled in front of the speaker.
I know what he's about to say.
Wow.
Because I'll tell you, the story that he talked about.
Wow.
Have you ever been over your friend's house to eat?
Yep.
Chicken that tastes like wood.
Yep.
I mean, the macaroni soggy,
and the chicken tastes like wood.
This is the funny thing. I was never like in the exact scenario, but I saw myself in the story. I've been in enough situations with friends that I was like there. This is why, to me, white kids caught on to hip hop so much.
Fact. That's
right. Outsiders, they came in. They weren't thugs, but they got thug lessons.
Mm-hmm.
and they get this. They adopted and then adapted their thought process to what we were feeding them.
Yeah. Wow.
Hey, and
that little weekly buying that record, that whatever it would be,
that was telling you the tale.
Was their invitation to the cookout.
That was their invitation,
and that's the only way they were gonna see it.
Right, and the music and the music that those white kids grew up with, a lot of the Hank Williams Sr., a lot of the blues from the 40s, all of them were excellent storytellers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Excellent storytellers. So if you have a new form of music that can key in to your youthful mind and it's telling a story, of course you're going to be a fan of it. You locked in.
You locked in. So for me, that's what got me at hip hop.
Oh, that's great.
And so consequently, what I did for cool points is I remember waiting until it came back on, because you had to kind of time it back then. It wasn't no playlist and all of that. You had to just wait till it came back on and have your cassette recorder ready to hit record.
They don't know about that, man.
Yeah.
They don't know that drama.
They don't know that, man.
They came back on, man.
They don't need to know. We know.
We know. There's not just one button that you push to record.
You had to hit two.
Play and record.
You had to record. Yeah.
And hold down to make sure it clicked.
Right.
And so I recorded Rapper's Delight that weekend, because that was a Saturday. So Sunday, all day, I played that tape over and over again because I wanted to be the first kid to come back Monday.
Wow.
Say that right.
Wow.
Facts.
All right. So look, I already know you guys would jump in and ask them more, but I want to pivot just a little bit. We have a segment that's called This or That. And what This or That is we show two videos and then we ask you to pick either this or that. There is no, I like both. Nah. This ain't Drink Champs and there's no shot.
Yeah. It's almost like somebody just got 3 football teams. You can't have 3.
You can't have 3. There can only be one.
We would have walked away if you didn't show the cup.
He had to bring it back.
He brought it back. Anyway, so look.
All right, I told you I wasn't going to mess with you no more.
Hey, I told you it was coming. I felt it.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do one of our this or that's that we did last week. I think it was us 3 last week, right?
Yeah. I don't know if Kev wasn't here.
Okay. All right. So this is our this is that. So I'll have you take a pick. Take a look.
Give him the hard.
on, man. That song never dies. I love it. All right, brother Fred. You gonna take this, which was Art of Noise beatbox, or that, which is Dundada, which what was the name of that group? Oh my goodness. I'll get back with you on that. But which one?
I'll have to go with that, man. That
really?
Dundada. Just on the strength of the Dundada. That sample, man. And I'll tell you the second, because I was trying to think about it when it all came out. In the mindset of kids we were as kids.
Yes.
I still would have went with that, and I'll tell you why, because the Dundada song enough, that was like a groove enough that you could just play that and we would have all been as cool. Yeah. But we as kids would have been like completely cracking up and tripping out on, you messing up the groove, dude, with all the how you gonna kill the groove? Don't you understand? I know us. We would have did that, but as kids.
Okay.
San Francisco.
Now, Kev, you weren't here last week, so which one would you pick, this or that?
This was very technical, and I think there were more things going on and more of a build-up and all this. That was very simple. It was him doing he was mimicking what he was doing vocally,
right?
And but there's a rhythm to that. There's an energy to that. It's more live than this.
Okay.
So yeah, definitely that wins hands down. And like you said, you could run that one almost like you could run Planet Rock. You know, True. It just has that joint that just keep going.
It's a groove
for a while. Yeah.
Now, what's funny is both Mike Precise and D-Ray took this only because that's Art of Noise. I also took that because it's funny. First of all, when I saw the video, I did not know he was mouthing off what he's playing on the drums. I thought that was like some Puerto Rican thing. I ain't gonna lie. I didn't know what it was.
I tell you right now.
You know, yeah. I didn't know what was going on. When I saw the video, another Euro band that we fell in love with. You know what I'm saying? Even Sharita, that is my jam. Yeah. Now this is the beauty of why I do this or that, because I like to make it a hard. You know, because those are both amazing songs.
But it's also very telling, because the party people are gonna always pick that. The producers are gonna always pick this.
But that's what made it.
Especially if you are a producer of a certain age, that you listen to Art of Noise.
Yeah,
true. And you know, because at the end of the day, most of the electro hip hop that came out in the early 80s actually originated in Europe anyway.
No doubt.
Yes. You know what I mean? Yeah. With Kraftwerks and things like that. Right. So a lot of us that were fiddling around with our synthesizers or trying to play jam on it on our saxophones, we were already into the electronic music thing anyway. Yeah. But the thing that I brought up last time we did this was that Dundada was in the club.
Yeah,
that thing remind me of New York.
No doubt.
You know what I mean?
It was tribal, man. That Dundada
right.
Straight.
So Fred, I'm a New York kid. I didn't come here to Florida till I was already grown. I'm 21 years old when I came here. But being in the clubs, I was an artist, also. Dog, that coming from dance culture, DJ culture, all of that stuff.
You're right.
Yeah.
Art of Noise, when beatbox came out, the dance vibe with both songs was strong, was powerful. But what Kev was saying about the energy in that Dundada, when you get up to that build, that and then once you heard the song, all you had to do was hear it one time.
Yeah, hear it one time.
And then you'll
be on the wall and you hear that doom da da. You be like,
hey,
you know what a break-off point is. What a break-off point is. It's like beatbox is the same thing. You know, it has its build up moments,
right?
But it's not as
Intense. Yeah.
It's
You
not
know what?
as big.
Yeah.
I'm gonna agree with you, Mike. All I'm gonna say though is "Moments in Love" by Art of Noise tested everybody up
Thank you,
here.
brother.
Say it didn't.
Some kids was made by that song. I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna leave it by that, son. I'm just saying.
Indeed.
Wait, that was getting radio play. Was that getting radio
Oh
play?
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
And-
that was our quiet. That was our quiet storm
Right.
in the mid '80s.
And
That's
it
right.
still
It
gets
played on the
played
Quiet
now.
Storm and during the daytime.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what I'm gonna do, fellas, is I'm gonna
Robinson
go
Love
ahead.
rock. That was a joint, yeah.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and play one of PID's videos. They actually have a new album that they're bringing forth in the 2025 era, which is, congratulations on that, man. We appreciate that. This one right here is called "Still Gifted." Let's check it out.
Let's go.
Okay.
I'm still gifted. I'm still gifted. I'm still gifted. I'm an animated emanation of elevated sensation, speaking these statements to all of creation. I'm an anomaly, solemnly void of apology for my mahogany theology. I'm an enigma, black ninja with a tendency to twist the trend like a transcender. Transmit truth to men ya, from an off-ender to a bona fide 100%er since the placenta. I've been doing it with the flair to flaunt it. For those who wanted it, for the non-responded, I got an unction. Punching something through your compunctions, pinpointing like acupuncture with funky conjunctions. Born with the gift, endured storms with the gift. In many forms, lifted the gift to the gift, shifted the span of my width. Gifted with more than just rhyme flow, I got a sublime glow that overrides the time code. I'm still gifted. I'm still gifted. I'm still gifted. I'm saying 7 MCs gathered in like sheep. Then take 7 more unsung when we speak. It'll take 7 more with you on a beat. Now that's 20 with MCs with lyrics and heat. I spit the classics. My bars alone have outlasted. 30 years later, the Lord is still greater. Jehovah Elohim remains the main thing. My flow's the same thing. Rock bells, they ring, locked in like sing. For freedom from lockdown, the word brings rocks down. I mean the walls down. We shout, they fall down to the king. We all crown. Speak to generations with street affiliations. Unique alliterations with biblical renovations. Those are venerated. Devils is castrated. The sin, you gotta hate it. My faith is still contagious. You saved and we related. My God cannot be faded. The life of sin I traded. New life is orchestrated, huh? Duly stated, it's blatant, I'm gifted. It's fitted like pieces of puzzles, complicated. I'm still gifted. I'm still gifted. I'm still gifted. I'm still gifted. I'm still on the hit list. I'm 30 years deep in the game. I know you missed this. Dynamic flows and dynamic shows with a spiritual heart that only the Lord knows. Stand on my 10 toes. Flows like ice cold, like dry ice. Yeah, I'm something you can't hold. Rhymes that expose anti-Elohim foes with vocal tones that elevate the way that Christ rose. Giving God all the credit, I can't stop. Tongue and mouth start moving as soon as the beat drops. Demons keep creeping on my block, trying to tell me to surrender, I think not. So throw your hands up. If you see, you better stand up. Question after question, stop guessing. He's the answer. All you gotta do is just trust and believe. Faith is evidence of the things you can't see. The things you can't see. The things you can't see. I'm still gifted. I'm still gifted. I'm still gifted. I'm still gifted.
Y'all,
I'm going first. Me first. Me first.
go ahead, Mike.
See, we gotta call it, yo, Fred. We gotta call it like that. We gotta call it. It's usually between me and.
Hey, and I'm be good this time. I'm be good.
No, but not. See, okay. Y'all know I make lists, right? Y'all know I make lists. Y'all know I got papers and So that's on. That was one of the joints on my list. First, because one of the heaviest lyrical. The song, the way y'all structured the song, makes you focus on the verbal amusements going on, the verbal party going on.
Right.
I like that.
Thank you.
The skill level is unappreciated.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
It's got to be heard. It's got to be heard more. And I'm so glad that when I saw this, I'm like, wait a minute, what happened? I did not know that y'all was signed to Holy Culture.
Yeah.
So we can talk about that. Definitely talk about that.
Yeah.
But y'all on there with all these young dudes. And it's like, I'm like, yo, this is dope. Look at all these young cats. Who are all good, by the way.
Yeah.
I started going through songs. I was like, yo, I gotta stop.
Yeah. Yeah. Shout out to Hope. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
All them cats, all them young dudes on the label. Yeah, all your label mates is good, man.
Thank you. Shout out to Holy Culture, man. They came to us about a year ago. Right after the whole 50 year of hip hop. Anniversary, and they said, hey, because I talked to them. We had talked as a group for years. Man, we need to do something. We actually in 2020 we did, like, it was just one song. Didn't necessarily go anywhere because now the whole industry, of course, now is you got to be plugged in to get your stuff out, which of course you don't now, thanks to what you guys are doing right here with Blast Media. Is like you can be independent and get your thing out. Well, anyway, I hollered at my friend, Trig, James, and I was like, man, look, we're thinking about putting something out, just trying. And he's like, man, call me right now. So I called him, and he's like, man, we're looking at starting a boutique label. It's nothing. We don't want a big, have 1,000 people on it, but we want some key folks, and we would love to have you guys on because of your history, because of where you've been, your legacy.
Smart.
And we said, hey, we'd love to do it. And so, that one song that we did, the idea of being still gifted after so many years, the gift does not change or leave if you continue to develop it. It's just like any other muscle. If you develop it and nurture it, then it continues to bloom. And just last night, we had an all artists meeting with all of the cats. And I love all those young cats, man. I'll be honest with you. If I wasn't the MC, and this is MCs, and MCs, you got to come in with, knowing who you are, believing who you are in the first place anyway. Right. I know who I am, but I look at them and I'm just amazed at their flow and their level. And I know my lane as that. And I tell them this, and this is what I told them. I said, they saluted and said, hey, man, we appreciate you, for being in the game so long, and you're still innovating and still growing. And I said, then what I can serve and be is a template. Because I wonder what a Baruch is going to be like when he's 30 years deep. I love like your analogy, your wordplay, your flow, is already amazing. Now talk about doing that and multiply upon that years of life and experience, what does, and you can just go on down the line with all of these amazing cats, that just I love and I'm in awe of. So that's, to me, that's part of the what we serve is just elder statesmen that still can get in there and do our thing. We roar like an older lion. We ain't trying to run down all of the antelopes and all of that. We just make the roar and scare the antelopes and let them young lions go in there and kill all them bad boys. And we all
punchlines, brother. You said I'm a 100%er since the placenta.
Yo, mind blowing.
Bars.
Come on.
Flex song.
I had to notate that one. I was like, what? I didn't catch that the first time I heard it. Oh, okay. But see, that's what you want, man. We're gonna start this. We never really kept it going, but we're gonna do this thing. How many rewinds? Rewinds. We got is that a 2 or 3 or 4 or 5?
That's a 4. That's a 4.5 based on just that line right there.
That's what we want.
Wait, go back, run it back.
We all grew up on this kid. We would hit that rewind tape. It's a double entendre. Oh, it's a triple entendre. It's a quad entendre.
Real.
You got some, Kev?
I was sort of kind of thinking about, looking at the history of hip hop and in general, with Christian hip hop, because so many people, like, especially like our era, it was like I often hear certain popular people refer to it as whack, but I'm like, well, yeah, it was okay. It might have been whack, but you wouldn't have even had a platform to be on if it wasn't there to begin with.
You gotta start.
So like how do you feel about that criticism?
I don't shy away from it. I welcome it because I know where I stand now. Like my first rhymes that I wrote and where they were, I wanted as I said, I care about the craft and I care about the gospel. Both relationships have evolved and grown over time.
Wow.
I wouldn't even want you to listen to the very first sermon I ever tried to call myself preaching. It was horrible. It was terrible. If you ever see somebody walking down the street with a twitch, they was probably listening to my very first sermon.
Oh man.
I had to grow in my relationship, and somebody said it here. You got to start somewhere. You know, you start right there, and then you continue to grow. The saddest thing is for the cat to get stuck and think that what they doing is sweet, what they doing is nice, and it's like that's nice for what was hot 30 years ago. You know, so my goal is that we all continue to evolve and grow.
That's right.
All right.
What was you gonna say?
So first and foremost, I don't know. It was something about that cat in the center. I don't know. Maybe it was that black and gold. It was something about that dude in the center. But no, real talk.
That's my dude. That's my man, man.
Hey, for the first,
he represent that Pittsburgh. That's what it was.
Right. For that first note, I was like, okay, this is my hip hop. Right now, I'm listening to it. I have my 12-year-old son who is a hip hop head. Yeah. I shared it with him because, and I don't share a lot of hip hop with him because he got some weird tastes. Yeah. But it's like I need him to hear this because the one thing that now in my elder years and in this walk that I'm on, I know a lament when I hear one, even if it's got a hip hop beat to it. Right. And that track comes off like a song. You know what I mean? That's meditative. That's something that, you know, if we're talking about motivating oneself to remember that God's word is eternal and gifts and callings are without repentance. Yes. And so that the only trick of the enemy is to whisper in your ear, you're too old. That's right. You can't do this. That's it. It has passed you by. And here you cats are coming out with absolute heat. You know what I mean? So shout out to y'all, man. I'm a fan. I appreciate it.
The Rakim references.
You know what I mean? I got a question though, and this is kind of a curveball / grenade because I know this is gonna lead somewhere. Yeah. Where does the business end and ministry begin for you when it comes to this?
Oh, that's a great question. You know, to me, the ministry is everyday life. You know, what I do and what I try to do. I have a lot of my work and my business set up to where I'm available to get out and travel and be able to get at any given point to minister. But at the same time, if I'm not doing ministry in everyday life, I'm not sharpening myself. So I keep myself sharp to where I can drop at the drop of a dime. When we were back in the day, when we were, doing a lot more shows and traveling and touring, now we're trying to really, honestly, those that are listening, holler at us, get at us on social media, get at us on our website, because we want to come out and do shows, but we're just really kind of starting our whole thing back up and trying to get out there. When we were doing a little more stuff and we started mentoring a lot of kids, I would tell them this. I was like, I got a dime in my hand. You need to always have a rhyme just in the chamber so that when I drop this dime, by the time this dime hit that floor, you ready to rhyme. My mentor that mentored me in preaching, he had something similar. He said, I will point to something, and I don't care what I point to, you got to take that as a reference and find a way to tie scripture into it and turn it into an eternal message. Ooh. So if we talk about a stop sign, I got to go, and he'll point stop sign, go. And he was like, use that and exegete that, use that, boom. And so I think that for me, where ministry starts is like in my everyday. So I'm constantly looking. What I do on the side is I drive Uber. So I'm out at 4 or 5 in the morning and I'm taking people. And just this morning, I'm listening to somebody share their story, and I'm sharing with them and encouraging them. And by the time they get out their car, they 3 steps higher. And they're like, dope. I needed this for today. And my message, I often tell them, I was like, okay, here you go. Go get them. Don't let them get you. And they got out laughing. They said, okay, I ain't going to let them get me.
Facts. I too am a full-time driver.
Hey,
so am I. So
it's
am I.
It's a great gig.
I hear you as well, right?
Yeah, man.
I used to. I did it for a little bit.
Do you see yourself doing something like you see our man Locksmith?
I love what Locke is doing, man.
I love what he's doing.
I have thought about it. So I've prayed, thought about it. I just, of course, it takes the time to do it and do it right. Yeah. I often do, what I do is I do music reviews. Okay. So when we got a new song, I'll play the song and then I'll record a person listening to it. My favorite one is I got these 2 cats from China. I let them listen to one of our songs and they in Chinese gave a Chinese review.
That's dope.
Song, and then I translated it on our socials and stuff.
That is super dope.
And very smart at the same time.
Yeah. So it's fun. It's fun.
That is strategic.
Yeah.
Oh, that is so dope.
Locke, he just took it to a whole nother level, man. I salute what he's doing.
Locksmith.
It's brilliant.
Salute the Locksmith. So let me pause one more time to switch up the flavor again. I do have another this or that. I wanted to show this mostly because of my man Kevin. Last week was built a lot for Kevin, and I gotta show this or that to my man. And of course, Fred, I want you to give us your 2 cents. And this is this or that. Let's check it out.
Control is nice right now. Hit him with a sauce. Yeah. Get it out.
two of my favorite dancers to this day.
Yeah.
This is Fiction. That is Keita the Great. So I'm gonna let Kev go first because this was exclusively for him.
Yeah,
Who
Keita,
did it?
Keita had so much swag in what he was doing and stuff. It was really smooth, I hate the chin strap though.
Well, that was a mask. That was
I know it's during COVID. Everybody can see the background. I just hate that era. I'm sorry. That was the Thanos snap, man. They got us, man. Yeah, they were playing games with us, bro. Anyway, but Fiction, man. Fiction he is my favorite.
He is. I think he's
the technicality stuff he's doing now with the kung fu parody with the other dancers and stuff. They switched it. Like, I'm not even doing dancing, I'm doing kung fu now. It's wild. But just going back on what he did, the technicality is on some other level. The side moonwalk across the stage
effortlessly,
and the amount of space and then he's a small dude, but the amount of space he uses.
Yeah, he covered a lot of space, like quick.
He is like Ant-Man. He can be really big, and then he can be really small and technical.
Yeah,
with the stuff that he does all the same time on the same breath as well.
So you got Fiction. All right. What about you, brother Fred?
Man, I'm gonna have to go with this. I'm gonna have to go with Fiction. And the other cat was dope too. In fact, I liked some of his swag. Like, agreeing with Kevin, he really had some great swag with it. But Fiction was a little bit more polished, and he was like, I got like multiple like layers, various textures. So he had textures and layers where with his facial features and all that. And when he hit that side, I will never forget. It really took me. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm old, so I got stories.
Go ahead.
That's what we want. That's what we want.
It took me back to the 70s, late 70s, when I was a kid, snuck into the Palladium to see Close Encounters of the Funkiest Kind. Was a dance group. We would call it popping, like locking or stepping or strutting. We would call it strutting or popping, or it really was a strutting group. And so they would dance. And this one kid, he moonwalked. This was before you ever saw Michael Jackson moonwalk. He moonwalked across, and he did the same thing. Took up the whole stage. And this is us as kids. This is what we did. Like, fell out.
It's just like.
And when he did that side move, it literally took me immediately back to 1978. As a kid, sneaking into the Palladium, watching these cats strut. That dude, he's got something special. So it's for me, it's this.
All right. Yeah, man. Yeah. That's why I enjoy doing this or that. Go ahead, Michael. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you.
No, I was gonna say, man, I think we all hovering around the same age. So yeah, I feel you, man.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and play PID's other video. Again, thank you, brother Fred. This has been amazing. I'm enjoying this time.
My joy, man. It's good to talk to brothers that love hip hop like I love it.
Facts.
Love it, man. Love it. And we love 98.5% of you, brother.
It feels so good to be loved. I just
subtle.
Oh,
hey, look, if you
you
noticed before I said that he was turning the star, so you couldn't see the star. That star got turned around that time. Hey, Pastor, I see you, man. I see you, man.
You see my
I see you, man.
Passive aggressive. You got that passive aggressive with it, nigga.
So what's up? So this song right here by PID is called The Crucible. So let's check it out.
Let's go.
We've been tossed in the flame. With heat, everything changed. We've been tossed in the flame. Never be the same. We've been tossed in the flame. With heat, everything changed. We've been tossed in the flame. Never be the same. Black and gifted. repented, that's my life sentence. God be my witness, been a beast since an infant. Infinite wisdom is what I be given. Every time I grab the mic, clear my throat and start spitting. Shine a light on me to see how I be shining. I'm a diamond. Press me up against the glass to see how I be grinding. Lifting up God so you can see how high I'm climbing. Presidential in the laws, I must be abiding. In the most high, sometimes I'm too fly for myself. I need to be more humble, put that OG on the shelf. Went down to the depths of the cave, only to return another brother that can never be a slave. Still being used by God. I'm 50 now with fire, trials, victory, cold. Put them all together, came out like pure gold. We've been tossed in the flame. With heat, everything changed. We've been tossed in the flame, never be the same. We've been tossed in the flame. With heat, everything changed. We've been tossed in the flame, never be the same. I'm a work in progress, obsessive with the process. Rejecting that which costs less, I work to my flex is flawless. Yes, when life gets at its hardest, that's when we just getting started. Me and God be like art and artists, you can't afford you. I'm burning at a temperature that's hot and scorching. Something awesome to start, far from torment. Heart be flame retardant, as long as pressure bust pipes. Fred with bust mics, standing upright at full height. Bearing stripes like a general, cause it's been a while since I've been around. Speak what's on my mind, cause I got that tenure now. And this is what I found, that we all live in contradictions. Instead of submitting to wisdom, we rather hack the system. Around it ain't no getting, all this gold requires digging. In the cold, the diamonds hidden, these are riddles, kiddos, listen. Ain't no quitting, you too close to fulfilling the mission. Stay in position till the vision comes into full fruition. We've been tossed in the flame. With heat, everything changed. We've been tossed in the flame, never be the same. We've been tossed in the flame. With heat, everything changed. We've been tossed in the flame, never be the same. It's the cruise, we got weight in this game. You know the name, God one and the same. The Lord, yes, keep fanning the flame. If my gold shine, he is the blame. These devils on the dads, I'm renaming them dame. I'm not ashamed, no disto. Cooking holy oil like Crisco. I'm ash over water, redistribute like distro. His fire consumes all water and stone. If the heaven is home, then your idol is blown. Been through the furnace, lessons been learned. Many trials by the fire, at times we got burned. Whoa, son of the sun, the truth, and one word. My non-pop, high caliber fruit like angry birds. Melted to dross, gained by the loss. This is the cost, I'm the human torch. Christ is the rock, the spirit, invisible. The Father's fantastic stretch points, that's critical. We've been tossed in the flame. With heat, everything changed. We've been tossed in the flame, never be the same. We've been tossed in the flame. With heat, everything changed. We've been tossed in the flame, never be the same. We've been tossed in the flame. With heat, everything changed. We've been tossed in the flame, never be the same. We've been tossed in the
There it
Wow.
is.
I'm going first this time, Mike.
Before you
I
go,
even-
all I gotta say,
I
all I
even
heard
got on.
was
I even.
Shadrach, Meshach, and some bad Negroes.
See, Kevin done stole my joke. No, I'm playing. No, real talk. I love that track. That's my kind of track. I love it. My question to you is this: 20 years, maybe 20, 30 years ago, a video like that would have cost y'all millions.
True.
Easily.
Right?
Yeah.
And so what are your thoughts now? I mean, I understand it's hard out here for all independent artists.
Yeah.
And it's, the challenges are still there. Sometimes the challenges are even greater than they ever have been.
Right.
But now to do your craft, you have so many more tools now.
Yes, you do.
How
Yes.
do you what are your thoughts on that, and what are your thoughts on artists giving excuses on why they can't do something?
Good question. Those two great questions. I love all of the tools that you have now, and in this, but you still have to have the passion. Like, to me, I'm a graphic designer. I used to teach Photoshop to students and doing ministry and youth ministry, and if anybody familiar with the whole Photoshop and the graphic design era, there are certain eras that that like filters dominated, right? And certain people came out with stuff, and you was like, those that know the craft, they know, oh, they just using such and such filter, and all that's that filter, and so you have to have the passion to cut through the filter to really, get your stuff out. If not, you just have stuff that's kind of boilerplate. It looks like there's everything else. So I love that we have all of the tools. I would say use the tools in a way. I had an uncle who could not stand Patti LaBelle, and we was like, "Why do you can't stand Patti LaBelle? She's always all over the place." And I'm like, "That's the good stuff." But she was hitting. This is what he said. He says, she uses it like one spice, and that's the only spice that she has.
Oh, wow.
I was like, dang.
Ouch.
A meal that's got too much pepper in it, or it's got too much, it's not balanced. Now, that's not my opinion. I think she's the GOAT. I think she's one of the greatest, but I understand where he's coming from. And I think that sometimes we have to be careful, make sure that we don't let the tools get in the way of the art. But use the tools. There is no excuse. The first video that we did, we shot that ourselves. Now, because we did that on green screen, and so this one we let my man Darius West, who did Mic Drop. Shout out to D West, Darius West. He came in, did that, and set that up for us. And you're right, the budget was way better than what it would have been 20 years ago. So some great tools out there. Now, as far as those that are using excuses, once again, my friend, it's just an excuse. You can go in nowadays and actually write out. If you don't want to write out, you can speak out what you want to have into AI or something.
Yep.
And it will give you a video.
Yeah.
You can take that video and then just use that as a template, and then go back and do, put your own stuff to it to make. There's just so much that you can do for so much cheaper. So I would say dive in, just do it. Do it and let it come out whack. Do it and let it come out whack. Then go back into your workshop and develop it. Keep on sharpening your tool. Don't just put junk out there. Make sure it's good.
Mike Precise, did you hear that? Oh. Sorry, my bad.
I took my chances and tried to master my own two songs. So I just did that, and they're on the way. So I want a criticism.
My man.
I want a criticism. I don't want to give a free commercial to Burn, but that's what I was using. And hey, I can't just be waiting, man. It's been, it's been a year and a half since I said, yo, we're gonna do this.
Right. And especially when cats put out stuff that gets way much more exposure that we know that is trash. We know. And it's like you're just using boilerplate filters and beats and stuff that's, you can get on anything and just pay for it. So yeah, put your stuff out there, man. Just put it out there.
Hey, the way I see it, if somebody else is gonna use the same beat that I got, guess what? Who's gonna be better? In my mind, I'm like, I'm a believer. I'm not trying to be the best. I'm not trying to crush nobody.
Right.
But if you like mine better than the same dude, use the same beat. Hey,
you know what though?
Sorry, homie.
And really, I can speak on this with all seriousness. Producers, we're always trying to create that next big thing.
Yeah.
We're always, and depending upon how deep you are, I know producers who will spend weeks making a kick sample. They make their own kick samples. You know what I mean?
Right.
I know guys that have an intricate way of how they want to put their own chords and do sound synthesis and all this other stuff. But then I also know producers who go straight to, Splice or whatever and grab a loop that's royalty free and got millions of streams. You know what I mean?
True.
And sometimes, like you just said, it's really about the passion. What is driving you right now?
Right.
Because that's the only thing that's going to set you apart. I don't know how many times I've been sitting here trying to write something profound, and then listen to something that's out there and go, I know exactly where he got that sample from.
Right.
I can't believe I let him. You know. So yeah.
But you still just got to put it out.
I was hoping y'all would get into this production talk. I was hoping y'all two would get into this production stuff. I like hearing that.
Yeah, I think I agree. I agree, Kevin. It's just a matter of you got to put something out there and put it out in the world. I honestly think that music on a higher level is conversation. It's an ongoing, evolving conversation. And when you put something out, you cause others to say, okay, let me reply. Let me put out something as well. And it just, and then we sharpen one another.
Right.
We build one another. So,
right.
Yeah.
How did you get back on the horse after all that time off?
Oh, man, it took me a while. It took me a while. Well, once COVID hit, I decided I wanted to go in deep. And I actually did an album during COVID. I'm a big fan of contemplation and meditation. Meditation has gotten me through a lot of stuff. So I'm a big fanboy. I'm a serious fanboy of it. So I did an entire album called The Sacred Hum. And I loved it. I wrote it for, like George Clinton said, funk is his own reward. I wrote it for the sake of my love of hip hop, my love of meditation, my love of seeing both of those genres meet. And it was the thing that got me back on getting into the gym, getting back in. I got kids, young men that are out there right now that I've mentored in the past. And I got one young guy, shout out to Moses Irave. He was like, man, Pastor, I want you to jump on this track. And this was probably about maybe 5 years ago. And I was like, I'm not in shape. And you remember that whole drop at the drop of the dime? Yeah. I gave that to him. Now he's asking me to come.
And he thought you was ready.
And I was not.
Wow.
And I passed it up. Well, after COVID, I decided. I said, look, I'm gonna look at COVID like I'm going into lockup. I'm coming out swole.
Let's go.
I'm coming out swole. If we don't
my God,
I like a different me. Hey, and that's what I did. I just put in the work. And so when it came time, now I'm loving it. So because as our group, and I love that because for years I did solo. And so I was doing entire songs, 3-minute, 4-minute songs all by myself. Now to have my boys with me, oh my gosh, that means I can give my all to one 16 bar and I can rest. So it's like I put my all into those 16 when I go in, and so I'm loving the process now.
It's crazy the parallels that I have been hearing coming from you. Like most of us have either driven for Uber or we're currently driving for Uber.
Yeah.
The things that we did once the pandemic hit, Blast, and I'm sure Veep will expound on this. Blast came from the pandemic.
Yep.
A lot of us
made
that decision that, if we got this time, I need to rely on what God gave me.
That's it.
And I'm trying not to look back. It is just amazing to me the amount of positive things that happened. And it all goes back to this saying that I heard during the pandemic. When we all had time, we were all on lockdown. And someone said, if you did not accomplish anything during the pandemic, time was never your problem. Discipline was.
Yeah.
Ouch.
That's it. And Fred, man, the thing with the kids, I've done that for years. Teaching kids how to rap.
Yep.
Put a mic in their hand. The ones that were bold enough to do it.
Yep.
Kids in the church, I always would let them know, look, man, you're doing something that like millions of people are horribly terrified to do. Right. So you're doing something very meaningful. Yes. Yeah. And Fred, when I realized that, you know what, maybe I'm just living vicariously through these kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a heck of a revelation, ain't it?
No doubt.
Yeah.
Man.
Because the things that I was writing, and all of the rhymes, poems, songs, and I would just keep them to myself, and only like a handful of people would ever hear anything.
Right.
And so, but I was like, well, I got the thing, the kids going, and I'm like, I always felt like it wasn't enough. Always felt like it wasn't enough. And this is some years ago now. This is like probably 10 years ago. I mean, I still do the thing with the kids,
Sure.
but when I realized, then maybe 4 years ago, when I realized that 4 or 5 years ago, and I'm like, yeah, I'm overdue.
There you go.
I'm way overdue.
Yeah, you up there
So-
trying to be Mickey when you're actually
40
rocking.
years overdue.
Well, Mickey been
You
trying to
up there trying to be Mickey and you're actually
I'm the
rocking.
Balboa.
You're Balboa.
Yeah,
And
and then
nowadays
so when I
it's so-
realized that,
you can get it out. You can get it out and do it and put it out there, even if it's just putting it in your circle and putting some stuff out there, and just making it happen. I start putting stuff out, and I'm a firm believer in this also, is that like you got to dig for the gold, which means you write some stuff that's garbage, and it's garbage, and you put it out, and there, for me, nothing makes me want to write and go harder than put something out that I thought was dope, and then people hear it and they're like, man. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to go to work. I got to sharpen. And then when I sharpen it and I like it, when it's at the point where I know I like it and I know it represents, and then put it out there, it's like, okay, it is what it is. Like you said, that may not be your genre or your style, but I know that I stood and represented what my genre is about. So
yeah. See, I like the stage and the cipher better than recording.
Yeah.
Recording is cool, but it's fun when there's a bunch of people with you.
You're right.
If it's not a bunch of, if it's not a bunch of, then it's like. But so my thing is, I got to get back on stage.
Yeah, you got to catch the stage, man, because there's nothing like it. There's nothing like it.
It's the energy that you get back from the people.
Yes, and Kev remembers. Yo, Fred, your beginnings is I think everybody's beginnings is the same as far as when you're in Christ. Because look, somebody, he's a pastor now, grabbed me up and put a mic in my hand and put me on a little podium out in the hood.
That's right.
That's what we did. That was our outreach. He was like, hey, you told me you can rap, right?
Tony Green.
Yeah.
Shout out to Tony Green.
Tony Green, Pastor Rick.
Pastor Rick.
Yeah. So Rick was the first one to put me. He put me in the projects rapping.
Yeah.
And then I grabbed this dude up here.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, don't worry about it, man. Because I had the experience already. We went on a tour before. I did secular. I was in a secular world.
Got it.
So it wasn't scary for me.
Right.
It was just like, this is very different.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
And then I grabbed Kev, and then we was rocking together in them projects throughout Orlando.
I love it, man. I love it. And the rest is history.
There it is.
Yeah.
That's magic, man. That's powerful.
Wow. Man, so I want to ask one question, and we're probably going to land the plane, but do you remember the first hip-hop album that you paid your own money for? And what was that?
The first hip-hop album I paid my own money for, maybe The King of Rock, Run DMC.
Okay.
King of Rock. There is none higher.
No doubt.
Run DMC did it for me too, bro.
Yeah,
When Sucker MCs came out, I'm like, yes, I'm Sugar Hill Gang era like you, but But when I got serious about this is me.
Yeah.
It's not just music. It's not just music. It's like you know, Neo in the Matrix when they like morphing together. You know.
Yep. And I would say probably another one that now that looking back on it that really pushed me was KRS-One's My Philosophy.
Yes.
KRS-One, My Philosophy. I wore that tape out.
I'm with you.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm a KRS fan. I love KRS-One.
Yeah.
So I want to tell the listeners about your Substack. You can go to substack.com/HeyFredLynch. My man, every day, and is that 7 days a week or is it 6?
7 days a week.
7 days a week drops 6 minute proverb lesson.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you, me and my lady love it. It's great stuff. I always shoot them. Hey, I like the word you gave. Definitely check it out. It's free to subscribe, but definitely, if you can, go ahead and upgrade and help my man out so he can, you know, take care of the bills and all that other good stuff because he's got some good content. So tell people what made you decide to do that right there on Substack.
Sure. When I was a teenager and I was discipled, I had a person that poured into my life, and they gave me this idea of reading scripture to stake with it, and they call it the Proverbs Daily Plan. So there are 31 chapters in the book of Proverbs. So they said just every day, whatever day of the month it is, just read that chapter. And then they said also ask yourself, is there anything in that chapter that is relevant to you, that sticks out, that like you realize you need in your life for that day? And it's uncanny. It's uncanny how every day something, just what I need. It was like, oh, that's what I need. And so I started doing it. That was 50. I'm 58 years old. So it's been 40 plus years that I have daily. And of course, there's been times that I've stopped and pulled away from it. I stopped as a teenager, and then at 16 went to Bible school. And of all things, one of the things that the teacher told us to do is Proverbs Daily Plan. So it became something in my life. I started doing it lives, Facebook lives, talking about a verse like that a day for years. And then so just this year, I made a decision. I'm going to turn it eventually into a full podcast where it's just a 5 minute a day, just boom today. You know, today was, I think, Proverbs 11 and 14. Tomorrow I will do 12 and 25. And, you know, and I'll just talk about it for about 4 or 5 minutes. That's all. Everybody's got plenty of life to do, but I want to give them just some inspiration that's just like a supplement to their life.
Yeah. And you can go back and binge them.
Yeah. You can go back and binge them. They're all up there.
I can honestly say, young in my faith, Proverbs was definitely something that was easy to digest because of it not being too big or too complex.
Exactly.
And just loving those bits of wisdom with short sentences. I mean, that did everything for me. So, so my brother, tell us, you guys got any touring going on or stuff like that?
So we're looking for open dates. The best way to connect with us, you can connect with us on all the socials, just like I had Hey Fred Lynch. So on any socials, Facebook to IG to TikTok, you could do just Hey Fred Lynch, and you'll find me the same way as you could do Hey Preachers. And that Preachers is with a Preachas. So Hey Preachers. So just go to heypreachers.com or go to preachers.com or just Hey Preachers on all the socials and holler at us and get us come in. We'd love to come in.
You want to take this mic or do you want me to?
That's my sister, man. That's one of my that's my middle sister right there.
Oh wow.
Yeah, Joy.
Oh, man, I appreciate that. Thank you, little Joy.
Oh, that's what's up.
She actually there was a group, we had a Christian group going on back in the day. And when I left the group, my little sister took my place in the group. Because she's a hip hop head too. And her husband.
That's the divine culture.
Her husband Alan is, I mean, the dude is a music scientist. I just say, I give it up to my brother-in-law Alan, man. Yo, the dude is a serious percussionist, been on multiple tours,
Nice.
played for some of the greatest gospel and secular artists, and he's a hip hop dude. And once I started helping out on this show, they started watching. My little nephew is probably watching. So yeah, I got to remind D-Ray, man.
Well, then
Watch
it's
your
really
mouth,
good.
man.
I
Watch your
didn't
mouth.
cuss.
Watch your mouth. My little nephew.
Exactly. Good. I didn't cuss tonight.
So Fred, we have a. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Kev.
I'm just saying little ears.
Oh, what I wanted to tell you, Fred, is that we have a saying or even a belief here that when you come in as a guest, you leave as family, and it's been that way for all of our guests because this is how Blast is. We're all family oriented. Predominantly, everybody knows everybody, and we all like to see everyone grow and be successful.
That's what's up.
And hopefully we can keep this as Blast grows, because I like to see an artist, like we had an artist who had a podcast with us that decided to move on and go independent. I gave him his blessings. Go ahead, my brother, be successful. I want to see you grow.
No doubt.
And if there's anything I can help you with, let me know, because it ain't all about me. The pie is big enough for all of us to enjoy.
That's it.
So anything we can help you with, your boys, whatever, we're here. I already spoke to Kenneth. Shout out to my man Kenneth.
Yeah.
We're here to help.
Wait a minute. My help is only available in non-football season. I can't, from right around September. September to right around December, we ain't gonna be on good terms.
You're gonna be on good terms.
Winter always comes early for the Cowboys. So
swinging that towel.
Man. I already know there's a
the TV with the quarterback he got.
We already know there's a scripture somewhere that say to not argue about religion or politics or NFL teams or something like that. I don't know.
That's your own book, bro.
No doubt. But again, Fred, thank you so much for hanging out with us.
Hey,
let me tell you,
it's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure to be here, and I'm coming back.
Oh, you are welcome anytime. Trust me.
And I'd love to bring the guys in as well, man. They love to come in.
I can't wait to chop it up.
You got to big up the documentary, man. You got to big up the documentary, because this is once I get it, I'm not gonna rent it. I'm gonna buy it.
Hey, appreciate that. Appreciate it.
But big up the doc, man. The Holy Hip Hop documentary. Tell people about that, because there's so much information that is not known. There's so many Christian people who don't know nothing about Christian hip hop.
It's called Mic Drop: The History of Christian Hip Hop.
Wow.
Mic Drop, and it goes into the stories of those who were the founders, from Mike Peace to Stephen Wiley, the Chemist, SFC, ourselves, PID. So all of those that started the whole thing, this touring, what we would call the Chitlin circuit today. We kind of created and forged and made. We did our own tours because nobody was booking us, so we just booked ourselves and got out there and did it. So it's a great documentary that goes deep into it. So y'all got to check it out. It's on Amazon Prime. It's on all of those type of movie download videos. You can check it out. Just look up Mic Drop: the history of Christian hip hop culture.
Nice.
Excellent. Fred, I gotta throw something in there, especially since my sister. Hopefully, both my sisters are watching. I got two sisters, and my brother-in-law are watching.
Mm-hmm.
There is I don't know if it's a controversy, but there's a thing between who really was first.
Yeah.
The first Christian rapper I ever heard,
mm-hmm.
and my brother-in-law and sister are roaring right now.
Yeah.
His name is Pete McSweet. Pete McSweet. Pete McSweet. Pete McSweet came out in 1982.
Wow.
We had a camp at my parents' old church called Camp Johari, and Pete would perform for the kids at the camp.
Wow.
And that's the first.
Somebody told. I think I heard of his name before.
Somebody who talked about him. Some dude from Rapzilla. Dudes from Rapzilla was I saw a short, and he was talking about Pete McSweet. I was like, I couldn't believe it. I was at work. I almost hurt myself.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, somebody knows about Pete.
Yeah. Yeah.
Somebody else knows about Pete. I couldn't believe it. I found a picture. The dude put a picture up. I should have gave the picture to Veep so he could put the picture up.
Wow.
Of the album of his record cover. And dude, we was little kids, man. We was little kids.
Wow.
1980,
He was putting it out.
80. Well, when 82.
Love that. I love that. First person that we heard professionally was Mike Peace. So Mike Peace actually had something out before us, as well as Stephen Wiley. Stephen Wiley had Bible Break. And in fact, when I told Stephen this,
around the same
and
time.
I heard Bible Break, that's why I wrote Get You a Bible. Because I just like Bible Break was good, but I was like, man, I wanted to make it more street. And
Get you a Bible.
We did Get You a Bible, quoting all the books of the Bible. And that's why I mean that music is a conversation, because I heard Bible Break, and then so I did Get You a Bible. You know what? Somebody may have heard Get You a Bible came from a later, T-Bone. T-Bone heard Get You a Bible. He was like, okay, he did something else. And we just evolved.
Yeah,
you know that they said that Bob Marley, when he heard, he was hanging out with the cats from War. They were walking down the street in Atlanta, Georgia, and War played for him. And back then, cassettes. They played for him. What was the song from War?
Which they got a lot.
Is his song that he did was Slipping Into Darkness.
Yeah.
Slipping into
darkness.
When Bob Marley heard Slipping into Darkness, go back and listen to Stand Up for Your Right to Fight.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the same loop.
Yeah.
Wow.
It is like that.
He just took it and did his interpretation. He loved it, and he was like, this is great. And that's what I mean. Music is a conversation. We sharpen each other. We take it further and take it further and take it further up. That's how that goes.
Facts.
I love that.
Yeah.
All right. So, D-Ray, you got anything to say before we head out, brother?
First and foremost, all jokes aside, I know, right? All jokes aside, this has been one of my favorite podcasts. Brother Fred, you are now one of my favorite people. I can't wait for you to come back. And, this is, to me, I just keep hearing this lesson of when God tells you to launch, you're supposed to launch.
That's it.
And the thing is, the overarching thing is, you may not live to see the destination where the boat is headed.
That's it.
But the main idea is somebody saw your sail on the water.
Come on now. You better go on preach.
Yeah. Facts. That's all about that, man.
The D is for Deacon.
Deacon Ray.
Hey, no, don't do that now. Don't do that. Hey, we'll be right back next week.
Yeah, okay. Hey, Mike, what you like to say before we head out, brother?
Man, yo, I ain't even get through I ain't get through none of my notes. 5 out. Okay, hold on, man. 5 albums. PID album.
5 PID albums. Mm-hmm.
5 PID albums. I don't know how many videos. Dog, it's a lot of weight. And I meant to say this earlier. Brothers, did y'all know Omega Sparks is on the label, bro?
Yeah. Did
y'all know that?
Came
I
on.
did not know that.
And man, Sparks, we've been building. I love Omega Sparks.
He's a good dude.
Hey, we interviewed him. What has that been? About 2 years ago?
Episode 1. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's been my boy for a number of years. Me and Omega, we go to war on somebody else's podcast when they attack Christian creatives.
Yeah,
so, Omega is my boy, and we don't live too far from each other. So yeah,
nice.
That's my dude.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
See that when I saw that, I'm like, nice.
Beast. Love him.
He is a beast.
And he got to get on a track. You got to get your boy Jay on a track with Sparks.
Yeah. They'll just scream at each other.
I can't wait for that. I gotta see that. that.
All right. So,
For sure.
Kev, what would you like to say before we roll out, dog?
Man, I appreciate all that you've done throughout the years. Now, class, last but not least, I hadn't been brought up. Any plans for a tour?
We want to do a tour. We've been talking about doing a mic drop tour. So I'm talking from SFC, Dynamic Twins, DOC, PID. We're talking about doing that. We did it and we loved it. And so we're looking for sponsors to do it because all of us are grown men. We got to take care of our families and do it right.
Can't do the buses anymore, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Broke down van.
No, we ain't doing that no more. We ain't doing that no more.
The Idol King dudes, what's up with them? Yo,
they're doing good. Wow. Derek DJ cut no slack. He's an Uber driver in LA.
Wow. This is just
it's something about that. I can't put my finger on it, but it's something about that for real.
Something special about it. Really is.
Yeah. You work when you want to work, and you do. You can manage all your other stuff.
And you know what I also love? I like putting my tracks on while I'm driving. And for somebody to go, hey, who is that? Well,
I'm glad you asked. Where's my business card? Damn. No, that's dope. That's
audience for sure.
So, Fred, if you can stick around after the end, we won't hold you up too much longer.
I'm here, brother. I'm here.
Everyone, thank you for coming to hang out with us tonight. We will be back. It won't be this Friday. It'll be the following Friday. Because we, as in myself, the president, we're going to be in North Carolina. We will be doing some live video, but that'll be on Saturday. So if you're not subscribed to Blast, definitely subscribe to Blast and see what we're doing. And that's about it. And just like Rakim says, it ain't where you're from, it's where you're at. So always keep it at the center. We love y'all. Please be safe out there. Peace and God bless.
Peace.
They used to jam in the center.